Okay, what's the highest point in St. Louis?
Are you talking about elevation of ground or building?
I'm glad you were specific about that. I'm talking about whose mind. No, I'm talking.
Whoa, that went in a direction I don't know how to answer.
No, oh, good. Here's Jerry. Jerry, will you get in on this?
What?
We're going to talk about what the high, not who the tallest person in the room is, but what's the highest point in St. Louis? That's the topic of
I
today's.
said
You said
ground elevation or height of a building?
Well, I said
Okay,
ground
let's
elevation.
start with ground elevation.
I mean, I always thought it was the high point, but
But it's the state hospital in Arsenal.
it could be.
High Point's not called the High Point because of its elevation.
What's
It's more
it's a
associated
high
with
point?
it's
High
most
point.
associated with social activities. Elevation.
Maybe those plate nights.
Whoa.
Well, but
This is
the
for the
people
record.
Over on Arsenal, they're kind of loony, and they wouldn't really know what their elevation is anyway. You know, they have different states.
Kind of a waste.
So according to your, and you work with GIS, which stands for,
Geographic Information System.
and according to that, the high point on the ground high point is.
Is the state hospital in Arsenal.
But it's actually
Okay.
interesting though, because if you're at the entrance of State Hospital and you go up to the fire station, you go uphill. And by the time you get all the way
It's a
up,
false hill.
by the time you get up the little
Have you ever looked at any MC Escher art, Jerry?
yeah, I have one right over there.
You when you're going up, you're not always going up.
It's the water. You know, it's just the water.
You can go up and up and up and up, and then what happens in the MC Escher painting? You end up at the bottom.
Like there's a block and a half that's higher than State Hospital.
Well, the
The
geographic information wasn't identifying a single point. It was a whole elevation.
broad area.
Okay, now my next question.
Kind of the top of the mountain, but just kind of the pseudo top.
Now,
Digitized top.
Right.
where's the highest? Now, not speaking about patch of ground, but is my main point was to find out if that water tower on Grand, if you ascend the water tower, so you're off the ground X amount of feet, is that the actual highest point in St. Louis, higher than any other building?
No.
So that is not either.
No, I think if you're at Met Tower downtown on the very top, because you're taller than the arch, you're taller than everything. There is a really weird spot if you're on Page Avenue and you get to like Dealman that you can see pretty far, but the arch is still higher than that spot.
Okay, and
The
then
one spot that I like is the top of, what's that church in U City? Catholic church in U
This-
City. No, in U City. In U City. Because I remember crawling up there during, a kid from, that I went to high school with, we were at a party, and it was like Halloween, and he knew how to get in there and get to the tower. So I got there, got to the tower. We had a high point right there. And from there, it's neat. You can see you can see how all the, like Art Hill, and how you can see how the streets are laid out from downtown area. I mean, you can see everything from up there. And, they had all the museums lit, and they had the Spanish pavilion lit, and you can see how those sit up on the hills.
Yeah, it's some nice vistas.
Yeah.
So I think Met Tower, I think, is still top.
Didn't the federal building surpass that
But the city has zoning to not allow any buildings downtown taller than the arch.
No,
they ended that when they built the Met. But prior to that, you're right. I think the Met is higher than the Arch now, right?
Well,
It used to be for a long time.
Mercantile Tower, which is at 7th and Washington. They were going to build that 25 stories higher than it is now.
Oh, wow.
And it's 42 or 44 now. And that was in a time when they said, no, you can't build higher than they are. And then some other big company.
That's good because it would just be vacant space right now.
That's true. We did lose another big building, though, that was going to be built here. because of that rule, ended up building it in Chicago, and it was a 90-story building. And those are good for your construction industry and tourism. You know, people want to go to those high spots and have dinner.
And get married and stuff like that.
And, you know,
Well, now I'm gonna. I remember the old days when you had a view from the certain railroad tracks. There was one in Kirkwood, near, not far from where Big Ben and Geyer intersect, but in a neighborhood, and you could look down the railroad track and you could see the arch clearly on a clear day. Now, some of those views are obstructed by the buildings they've allowed to be built. Since that ordinance was changed or whatever about nothing can be higher than the arch, but
if you're coming from Alton, you're on 367, and you get to a spot there that's very high. You can see all of downtown.
right.
Well, that is a great
Bush.
view.
And other points in Illinois too.
No, it's right at the 270, 367 intersection is where the high point is there. Like by Christian Northeast Hospital, Hazelwood East.